WUB Network, America's sports leader, is proud to present our fourth ever edition of Monster Energy Saturday Afternoon Baseball. And today we are live from Toronto for the second time with the 15-15 Toronto Blue Jays facing off with one of the teams who have had one of the best starts in Major League history, Yovani Gallardo on the hill for the 25-6 Seattle Mariners, who have just had an incredible start in the early goings of the 2017 season. Before we start, we got to look at the league standings and just give you a quick update on what's been going on right now. If the playoffs started today, the Mariners would be the clear-cut number one seed in the AL at 25-6. Orioles are in front in the AL East at 19-11. The Indians are in front in the Central at 17-12, with the Yankees and Tigers grabbing the wild cards. Blue Jays and Rangers each a game and a half out of the wild card, 2 games out are the Rays, 2.5 the White Sox, 2.5 the Royals, 4.5 the Angels, 4.5 the Astros, 4.5 the A's, 5.5 the Twins, and the struggling Red Sox are just 10-21. In the National League, right now the best record is held by the Washington Nationals at 20-10, with the Cardinals at 19-12 leading the Central. And at 17-11 are the Los Angeles Dodgers, and both wild cards would come out of the National League East Division, with the Mets at 18-11 getting the first, Phillies getting the second at 18-12, Diamondbacks just a half game behind them, Cubs 1 game out of the playoffs right now. They were dealing with missing Javier Baez, who does return tomorrow from the disabled list. 3.5 out of the Reds, 4 games out the Rockies, 4.5 the Braves, 4.5 the Padres, 5 the Brewers, 6.5 the struggling Giants, 7 the Pirates, and 10 games are the 8-22 Miami Marlins. And let's just quickly look at the league leaders in terms of offensive and defensive numbers. Right now, the batting average leader in baseball, Mark Trumbo, hitting .378 for the Orioles, followed by Victor Martinez, Ben Revere, Odubel Herrera, and Anthony Rendon rounding out the top 5. Singles leader is Ben Revere with 36. Hits overall, Anthony Rendon has 46. That leads that category. Doubles, Odubel Herrera has 11. Several other players have 10 doubles in this season, 14 in fact. Triples, Mookie Betts has legged out 5 this season, jumping out ahead of anyone else. Albert Pujols has 12 homers, Miguel Cabrera with 11, Ryan Braun, Justin Upton, Mark Trumbo with 10, Will Myers, Evan Longoria, Reddick, and Encarnacion 9, Chris Davis, Granderson, Pablo Sandoval, Jose Bautista, Chris Bryant, Matt Duffy, Jay Bruce have 8. Ribby leader 33 for Albert Pujols, just behind is Will Myers with 32. Now for pitchers, most victories, Alex Reyes has 5 out of the bullpen for the Cardinals. But starters-wise, Brett Anderson has won all 5 of his 6 starts, all 5 of his decisions. ERA, just a .74 ERA for Steven Strasburg, who has a 4-0 record for Washington. Michael Pineda just behind at 1.11. Then Anderson, Hisashi Iwakuma, Justin Verlander, the top 5. Jake Arrieta, Jacob deGrom, Trevor Cahill, Dylan Bundy, and Noah Syndergaard round out the top 10. Whip, .78 for Aquilino Caleco of the Orioles. That leads everything. Strikeout leader, CC Sabathia has 45. Most walks surrendered. Mike Fultonevich of the Braves has surrendered 21. Most hit batters, Syndergaard's hit 5. Strikeout to walk ratio, Taylor Jungmann by far the best. 16.5 is his ratio. Next closest is 12 for Ian Kennedy. Strikeouts per 9 innings, it's Matt Cain with 10. Dylan Bundy 9.9. Taijuan Walker 9.8. Complete games, John Lester has 2. Jacob deGrom has 2. Jeremy Hellickson, Clayton Kershaw, Madison Bumgarner, Zach Greinke, Dallas Keuchel, Gio Gonzalez, Jared Weaver, Justin Verlander, and David Price each have 1. John Lester has 2 shutouts. Kershaw, Weaver, Verlander, Hellickson, Gonzalez, and deGrom each have 1. Save leader, Wade Davis, who has 10 saves and has not given up a run this season. So now we have to get to today's game and the Seattle Mariners, who have just been absolutely dominant this season. Jarrod Dyson has been slotted into that lineup as a second baseman, a position he never played in his career, really. He played it a little with the Royals last season and got hurt in that position. That changed. He is hitting in the 300s this year. Taylor Anthony batting in the 2-hole, playing center and right field has helped. And, of course, when you've got veteran bats like Robinson Cano and Nelson Cruz, a strong bullpen, and some lockdown starting pitching, that is key to success. On the mound today for the Blue Jays is Matt Latos, and this is the second time we've watched him pitch a game here on WUB Network, because he threw a no-hitter early in the season in his first appearance. So it'll be him on the hill squaring off today with Giovanni Gallardo, who so far on the year has a 3-0 record with a 1.78 ERA. This should be a good one. We are getting excited for a great baseball battle right here on WUB Network, America's sports leader, as the season will continue with the Mariners and the Blue Jays. We'll be back for the start of the game. Just a couple quick side notes before we start. There's been 3 other games that have already taken place today, a few early games, this being a 4 o'clock start. The Reds defeated the Cubs 11-4, dropping the Cubs to just 4 games over 500. Although John Lester has such a great ERA at 2.47, he is 2-4, not getting much run support, and today he did struggle, only lasting 4 innings and allowing one big blast to Desmond Jennings. Jennings drove in 4, a pair of doubles and a triple for Joey Votto. Billy Hamilton legged out a double. Adam Duvall, Jared Cozart, Eugenio Suarez each had a double, as did Homer Bailey, Scott Feldman. 8 doubles for the Reds on 17 hits total, getting the victory with Scott Feldman. Cardinals and Brewers, it was a 2-1 victory for Milwaukee, a heartbreaking loss for the Cardinals, who took an early 1-0 lead in the top of the 3rd inning on an RBI single by Colton Wong, driving in Carlos Martinez. Then, 8th inning came with his 1-0 lead. Carlos Martinez pitched incredibly, was in line to earn his 2nd win of the year. Alex Reyes pitched an inning and 2/3, no issues, but then Trevor Rosenthal came in to try for a 5-out save, and although Rosenthal had not given up a run in almost 3 weeks, he gave up 2, a run on an RBI single by Ihan Martinez, the pitcher, drove in the run. It was a bases-loaded walk that he drew. And then he got out of that jam, and Kirk Neuenhuis, with his 7th home run of the year, hits the walk-off of the Brewers to get the 2-1 victory. So Rosenthal the loss, Martinez the win. Other game, Rangers and Red Sox. It's another offensive battle. The Rangers won the skirmish 10-8 at Globe Life Park. Couple big hits from a few different guys. 3 for 5 on the day for Adrian Beltre, including belting a 3-run shot. Jerickson Profar also had a home run of his own. On the other side, Mookie Betts legged out yet another triple. Anthony Benintendi hit another home run, his 4th. Mitch Moreland also hit his 4th home run of the season. Xander Bogaerts got another hit, extending his hitting streak to 4 games. David Price got knocked around a little, raising his ERA to 5.32 in the early first 6 weeks or so of the season. Eduardo Rodriguez really got knocked around out of the pen, as the back end of that Ranger bullpen with Sam Dyson and Martin Perez, who's been shifted to a bullpen role, and Jeremy Jeffress all strong. So now it is time for us to start, after all that review, Blue Jays, Mariners, WUB Network, Monster Energy, Saturday afternoon baseball. With next weekend being Memorial Day weekend, we'll have a ton of games in the upcoming week because all the interleague rivalry matchups, we'll have Mets-Yankees at least once. We'll probably have Dodgers-Angels. So just keep your eyes peeled for that, as we are just about ready to get going. The players getting ready and set on the field for an exciting MLB game. It should be quite the battle. Tuffy Gostowicz is in at catcher today. Jarrod Dyson, of course, in the lineup in the leadoff spot. That is exactly what you'd expect from him. Just such a strong lineup between all the players on this team. It is really a lineup you would never want to mess with. All the lefties thrown in there, too, to face the right-hander Latos. As we are ready to start Monster Energy Saturday afternoon baseball on a beautiful sunny day from the Rogers Center in Canada. We welcome you to Canada for the second time this season. The Blue Jays at 15-15 at home against the best team in baseball, the Seattle Mariners. This should be a good one. We are excited as you are for this game right here on WUB Network. As we get ready to take a look at our starting lineup for the Mariners, Jarrod Dyson leads off. Taylor Anthony, Robinson Cano all hitting over .330. Then Nelson Cruz, Kyle Seager bats fifth. Leonis Martin, Tuffy Gostowicz the catcher bats seventh. And Guillermo Heredia and Danny Valencia brings up the rear of the batting order. Jarrod Dyson to the plate, facing Matt Latos, as we are just about ready to get underway as we look at Latos' season stats. Latos threw that no-hitter on opening day, but other than that, it has not been pretty, that being his only victory. 1-2, a 5.74 ERA, though he has locked himself a rotation spot here in Toronto. It's Jarrod Dyson batting .355, sixth in the majors in batting, fourth in the AL. Latos winds up the sign. The first pitch is outside ball one. Russell Martin set up the target out there, and we're underway. 1-0 on the power curve from Matt Latos. Latos sets again. It's a 1-0. And this one's driven into left center. Dyson's going to continue the hot streak, lining one into left center for a single. Getting over there quickly to cover it is Ezekiel Carrera. But a runner on base early and a definite threat on the base paths is Jarrod Dyson, who this season has already snatched 12 bases. He only snatched 11 last season in the injury-shortened year. So Dyson on base, with Taylor Anthony coming up, who's hit .336 in his sophomore stint with the Mariners. So we look at the Blue Jay defense, Russell Martin catching, Latos pitching, Donaldson Tulo, Devin Travis, Kendrys Morales, the infield left to right, with Pilar in left, Ezekiel Carrera in center, and of course Jose Bautista in right, with Melvin Upton Jr. doing the DH work. So here we go, no outs, already a runner on, and Taylor Anthony the batter. Latos has to reset. The last time we saw him, he didn't give up a hit all game. Now he's already given up one to the leadoff batter. Last night, Anthony 1 for 3, a single, a walk, and a run scored. Dyson with a big leadoff first, not running this time. First pitch misses low from Latos, a ball in the dirt, two-seamer, 1-0 the count. Dyson with a huge lead. 1-0, he's running, pitch outside, Martin throw down to second, off the base, stolen base number 13 from Jarrod Dyson, and the Mariners have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. The Mariners just running away in the MLB this season, running away and hiding. As a throwback to second, Dyson gets back safely, 2-0 the count to Anthony. This team just, every single category, they are so good, they are fast. Between Cano and Cruz, they can hit for power. The pitching's good. Starting pitching, relief, even with a lot of injuries to that bullpen. 2-0 is in there, strike one. Steve Cishek currently on the disabled list. Charlie Furbush has been hurt for a long period of time as well. 2-1, they'll throw back to second once again, but getting back is Jarrod Dyson. Blue Jays at 15-15. The issue has been the starting pitching for them, because they cannot keep everyone healthy. 2-1 pitch coming from Latos. Anthony drops one into left center. That'll fall in front of Carrera. Rounding third is Dyson. He'll score. Back-to-back singles from the Mariners, and they take an early 1-0 lead on the Toronto Blue Jays. Taylor Anthony got that fastball right down pay dirt, and he sent it into left center. And just like that, Anthony drives in another run. Dyson scores another early run, and the Mariners jump out to an early lead. Coming up now will be Robinson Cano. Talking about the Blue Jays, If you remember back when we did their game about 5-6 weeks ago on opening day, the Blue Jays were dealing with playing without Marcus Stroman in the rotation. That's why Latos was in the rotation. They thought he would get booted as soon as the time came when Stroman would be back. Stroman's on his rehab stint, about to come back, and then J. Happ leads the start with elbow inflammation, and they've put him on the disabled list, and now they're saying he might not be back till at least mid-June. So that pretty much ensured Latos' spot in the rotation. So they haven't had their two big arms in there at one time yet. First pitch is low, ball 1. And another pitching option you'd think they might have is Mike Bolsinger, but he got hurt in spring training and he has struggled mightily in AAA. 1-0 to Cano. In there, strike 1. Robbie Cano, former second baseman, shortstop for the Yankees, gets the shortstop role here because Jarrod Dyson's at second. Gene Segura's been hurt all season. It has not mattered at all for Toronto. As Cano pops one up to center, Carrera comes in. He'll make the catch. Anthony ambles back to first, and that's the first out of this baseball game. So look at the AL West standings. The Mariners have checked out in the division. A 10-game advantage over the 15 and 16 Rangers, and a three-way tie for third at 12.5 back are the Angels, Astros, and A's. Astros have been an absolute disappointment in the early starts of this season. It's been really disappointing from the Houston Astros showing this season. Texas, about 500, but the Mariners have just been absolutely dominant. Already 10th pitch for Latos is outside ball 1 to Nelson Cruz. Cruz, I feel like, although this team is doing so well, Cruz is the one who is really not doing what we thought he would. He is not having a good season batting-wise, just 27 for 126, which gets him to a 214 mark. Just 5 homers and 20 ribbies, and a lot of strikeouts early in the season. It's been very disappointing that Nelson Cruz has not played well, but I mean, with everybody else that this team has, it really doesn't matter too much. 1-0. Martin sets his target. The 1-0 offering, swing and a miss by Cruz. He was swinging for the fences there. He thought he'd get a fastball, slider fooled him. Count is even 1-1. The count from Latos to Nelson Cruz. Anthony can steal bases as well. He's got a solid lead off first. 1-1. Cruz attacks one. Flies one to shallow right. Batista comes in, makes the catch. Just got a little too on top of it. And that's the second out. Anthony goes back to first. So Latos is settled down after the back-to-back singles in the early run. And that will bring up the 5-man in the order, Kyle Seager. Seager, a career 400 hitter against the Blue Jays, 18 for 45 mark. First pitch, Seager takes one low in the dirt, 1-0 the count on the fastball. Looking in is Latos. The 1-0 pitch, low ball 2, and now Seager ahead in the count, 2-0. We'll see if he gets the green light here. Latos already at 14 pitches. On deck is Leonis Martin. (2-0) from Latos. Outside, ball 3, and now Seager really should get the green light. Fastball is at 98 there from Latos. High velocity, but just no control. 3-0. Outside, ball 4, and just when it looked like Latos was settling down, he gives up a 4-pitch walk to Kyle Seager, and out comes the pitching coach and the whole infield in to talk to Matt Latos as Leonis Martin comes out there. While we do that, let's look at who's leading the AL in ERA so far this season. The Orioles atop the board, under 3 at 2.99. Then second and third, it's the Mariners and Blue Jays. The Blue Jays pitching hasn't been too terrible. 3.52. Mariners, though, at 3.03, second in the league. Behind them are the Indians, who were one of the clear favorites in the American League at the start of the season, but the Mariners have come out of nowhere as the best team in baseball by far. The Yankees are 5th. If they keep this up, watch for the Mariners to be on Monster Energy Saturday afternoon baseball a lot, as Martin swings and misses at the fastball, 0-1 the count. I believe the Cubs are due to play them in about a month or so, so we'll definitely be showing that, the best team this year against last year's world champs. First and second, 2 outs, ready to run home. 0-1 pitch, misses low at the feet of Leonys Martin on the power curve, 1-1. Latos threw that no-hitter, but I feel like all that he had left in that arm, he used up there. Ground ball is to Donaldson, thinks about throwing a second, decides first would be the easy play, and he doesn't, and that retires the side. But a couple hits, a run, 2 stranded. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Mariners are already up. They're up 1-0. We'll be back on WUB Network, America's sports leader. Here's Ezequiel Carrera leading off for the Blue Jays, facing Yovani Gallardo, who's having such a strong year. Remember a couple years ago with the Cubs, he had that amazing season. Now with Seattle, he's having another good year. First pitch, Carrera swinging, flies one to center. Leonys Martin, the sun in his way, but he makes the catch anyway. That's the first out of this first inning. 1 pitch, 1 out. Let's look at the Blue Jay batting order. Carrera, then Troy Tulowitzki, who's been on and off the disabled list this season. This is only, I think, his 11th game. Batista, then Donaldson, Morales, Kevin Pillar, Russell Martin, Devin Travis, and not BJ Upton, now Melvin Upton Jr. As we look at the Mariner defensive alignment, Tuffy Gosewich today at the catcher. They have 3 catching options. Gallardo the pitcher, Seager, Cano, Dyson, and Valencia the infield, with Guillermo Heredia, Leonys Martin, and Taylor Anthony the outfield. As we just said, the Mariners do have 3 catching options. Mike Zunino, Carlos Ruiz, who plays back there sometimes, but legs are getting difficult for him, swinging and missed by Tulowitzki, 0-1 on the fastball. And then also, of course, you've got Tuffy Gosewich, who was pretty much the main catcher for the Diamondbacks from July on last season, when Wellington Castillo got hurt. 0-1 misses low outside, 1-1. Tulowitzki just a .227 mark. Had a wrist injury at the beginning of the season, didn't start till mid-April, then got hurt again, and now he's just been back for about a week. It just has been not the season he would have liked. 1-1. Tulowitzki flies one foul off to the right, 1-2 the count. This Mariner rotation with Hernandez, Iwakuma, Gallardo, Paxton, it is incredible. 1-2, fouled again. Count remains 1-2. And then, of course, Ariel Miranda, the youngster. That is quite the 5. And this is with them getting rid of Taijuan Walker. 1-2, swing and a miss. Down goes Troy Tulowitzki. That's the second out of the first inning. And Yovani Gallardo looks strong early. 2 quick outs. But now this is not that easy of an out to deal with. And this is Jose Batista coming to the plate. So here's Jose. Last night was 1 for 1 with a walk, 2 runs scored in his career, though, batting under 100 against Gallardo, and he's not going to have success here. Quick grounder, Dyson fields it with the glove, throws to first, and that retires the side. So a quick 7-pitch inning for Gallardo. He gets the Blue Jays 1-2-3. Matt Latos back to work in the second. Mariners leading 1-0 on Monster Energy Saturday afternoon baseball, right here on WUB Network, America's sports leader. Remember, Memorial Day weekend is going to be one of the biggest weekends on WUB Network in a long time. Lots of baseball. And of course, the highlight of it all, Monday afternoon, it's the Memorial Day special, the NASCAR Progressive Cup Series race number 9 from Bristol Motor Speedway, the Food City 500. It'll be quite the exciting race. We are all excited after craziness and chaos in LA in the last race between Brad Keselowski and Daniel Suarez. What will happen in race 9 at Bristol? The Busch brothers usually the forces to be reckoned with, but other guys like Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, and Matt Kenseth are still searching for their first wins of the 2017 season. The Food City 500, next Monday, right here on WUB Network, America's sports leader, as the All-Star race looms closer to the Progressive Cup Series. Just 2 more races now before the All-Star break. Bottom of the order for the Mariners, Tuffy Gosewich batting. Has not played much, though he has been in the majors most of the season. Went to AAA for a while when they needed an extra bullpen arm for a few days. He has only had 2 plate appearances in the majors. This is actually only his second start behind the plate. He's been a defensive replacement late in the game. He's probably the best defensive catcher they have, but offensively he is the worst. Ruiz the best offensively. Ruiz the worst defensively. This one's the best defensively, worst offensively. And he grounds one quickly to Travis. Bad throw by Devin Travis, and Gosewich is going to be on the error. I don't know if that was a bad throw or for some reason Kendrys Morales did not squeeze the glove. Maybe this is why the Royals used him as a DH only last season. How the heck did that happen? Travis, this looked like a routine play. Oh, this is Travis's fault. Travis, for some reason, this ball just slipped right out of his hand, and it went left. And Morales had to play it on a hop. And Travis was halfway between, he was right between first and second. This was only about a 40-foot throw. I mean, even if you're a major leaguer, you're going to have plays like that, and Morales just couldn't hang on to it. So, a leadoff base runner again, and it's Tuffy Gosewich. So we look at the AL East standings. The Orioles on top at 19-11. Yankees 1 game back. Blue Jays 4 back. Rays are 5 back. And, of course, the Red Sox at 9.5. We expected the Orioles to be the best. We knew the Blue Jays would have setbacks. They'd be the middle of the pack. We knew the Rays wouldn't be in competition. The two big surprises, the Yankees and Red Sox pretty much flip-flopped what we thought they'd be. We thought the Red Sox would be the team that would be in competition. Maybe the Orioles a little stronger, but up there for the AL East with the Yankees at the back of the pack. It's the complete opposite. The Red Sox have had injuries. David Price has had an absolutely horrible season, worst of his career by far. That amazing rotation with all those lefties really is starting to look pretty bad because 3 of the 5 in their rotation have ERAs over 5 with. In that category, you've got Drew Pomerantz at 5.02, David Price at 5.32, and Stephen Wright up near 6. Chris Sale is at like 3.8, and Porcello's around 3.2. So it really has been terrible for them. Offensively, Mookie Betts only hitting .213. Xander Bogaerts had a horrible start to the season. Same went for Hanley Ramirez, who was only hitting .060 3 weeks into the season. Anyway, back to this game. Guillermo Heredia, the left fielder in his second-year bats. First pitch is lifted to left center field. Who's going to get it? Carrera. It's leaning more towards Pilar. Pilar comes in. He'll make the catch. Back to first goes Tuffy. And that's the first out of the second inning of play. Latos is usually a strikeout or ground ball pitcher, but he cannot get anything into the infield, it seems, except for that one play that Travis messed up for him. Latos not looking too happy, not as confident as he was last time these teams played. Danny Valencia at the plate. Hit a homer last night. Last night was a victory for the Mariners, 7-4. Felix Hernandez did give up all 4 of those runs in 5 1/3. He threw 120 pitches. It was not really that great of a performance from Felix. He walked 4. He did strike out 11, but that caused that pitch count to be over 100 in the 5th inning. He was at 102 when the 5th inning ended, and he ended up going another third of an inning, throwing an additional 18 pitches, 14 in 1 at bat. That ended with a strikeout and then a 4-pitch walk, and they decided to take him out. But Felix not too strong, but the bullpen held together. Danny Valencia had a couple hits. He had a double and that home run last night, and he takes the first pitch 1-0. Latos is 1-0 up at the hands of Valencia on the 2-seamer, 2-0 the count. Not a lead at all for Gosewich. 2-0 misses low and outside. 3-0. Latos just not looking good. You can hear boos from the crowd. Latos misses outside. The crowd is booing Matt Latos, who threw a no-hitter for them just 6 weeks ago. As Valencia takes his base, and now the Mariners have a runner in scoring possession again. First and second, 1 away. And up to the plate will come the leadoff hitter, Jarrod Dyson, who hit a single on his second pitch. He stole a base and scored in his first plate appearance. One of the things that is why the Mariners are so successful is because guys are willing to shift positions. Taylor Anthony was supposed to be their big center field prospect. Leonys Martin can only play center field, and Leonys is hitting in the 350s, playing most days. So they decided to shift Taylor Anthony to right. Didn't complain, and he's doing just as well, making spectacular catches. Jarrod Dyson was always a center fielder, played second base a little last season, got hurt in a second base collision with the Royals and missed 3 months, and he's just fine playing the position now. And Danny Valencia was always a third baseman with Oakland, Minnesota. He's a first baseman here because they're not going to move Kyle Seager, the franchise player. He's the one player who stood with them. Him and King Felix are the two who've stood with them through all these tough years. So here's Jarrod Dyson, first and second, and he lines one down the left field line, just foul. That was going to be 2-run triple if that had stayed a little farther right. Oh, one, he lines one down to right center the other way. That's a base hit. Coming around to score is Gosewich. The throw home is a solid one, but not in time. 2-0 as Jarrod Dyson drives in the run. Jarrod Dyson, he's leading the All-Star vote for second baseman. Forget about Jose Altuve. Forget about Starlin Castro. Forget about Dustin Pedroia. The best second baseman in baseball now, I believe, is Jarrod Dyson. .366 average this season. He drives in another run, and the Mariners are up 2-0. And now he and Valencia on base with Taylor Anthony and Robinson Cano, the next two. We're both hitting around 340, 341 for Anthony, 338 for Robinson Cano. I mean, I know it's still May, and the Mariners could go into a little bit of a tailspin at some point, which they probably will. But right now, this is just incredible to watch. More balls than strikes so far for Latos. 14 balls, 13 strikes. Now he evens that up with the first pitch of strike, a power curve 0-1. Anthony took it all the way. Mariners, it's just been amazing how this team has been so strong this year. They had a 12-game win streak. Then they had a 10-game win streak. 0-1. Low ball 1-1 the count. Mariners lost their opening series. They lost 2 of 3 in the opening series, I believe, to Oakland. So they were 1-2 to start the season. Then they evened up that series in Game 4 to split the series. And after being 1-2, they won 12 in a row to get to 13-2. Then they lost a game to get to 13-3. Then they won 10 in a row to get to 23-3 before they finally lost to drop to 23-4. Now it's not been as effective, but still, I mean, I think they'll take winning 4 out of 6 since that loss. So 27-6 the number for the Mariners this season. 1-1, here comes the pitch from Latos to Anthony. He drives one to center field, going way back Carrera. He'll make the catch. No runners going, as it'll be first and second, and that's the second out with Robinson Cano coming to the plate. So look at the AL team batting in the last 10 games. Who's up there? The Mariners, of course, second highest average, behind the Royals, who have gone on a hot streak to get back into the playoff picture, to get within one game of a playoff spot after they had a really poor 4-12 start to the season. Here's Robinson Cano 0-1 with a flyout, still hitting .338. The former Yankee and home run derby champ takes the first pitch low and in the dirt on a power curve 1-0. Russell Martin is looking very frustrated with Matt Latos right now, because things are just not going in the right direction for him. 1-0, another pitch nearly gets away, and Martin angrily throws the ball back to him and telling him, let's go, 2-0. And you can hear these fans not pleased. Already 32 pitches for Latos. In the no-hitter, one other solid start, and it's just been horrible. That's his only victory all season. Fastball in there, strike 1. They are just waiting for the day when Happ can come back, or if they can find another arm in AAA, because they cannot stand with Latos in the rotation. 2-1 lined up the middle, past the diving Tulowitzki into center. That'll get a run in. Valencia home, Dyson to third. It's an RBI single for Robinson Cano, and the Mariners lead 3-0 here in the second inning. And now let's just check the Blue Jay pen, because at this point, John Gibbons is on the phone. Let's see if somebody is going to start warming up for Toronto. Toronto had the best record in the majors at one point last season. The highest win percentage. They were 31-9 at one point, because they were 24-9 and they went on a 7-game win streak. But then things cooled off. and they ended up falling to the next thing you knew, they were 33-20. Of course, nothing going on in the Mariner pen. Yovani Gallardo getting so much rest today. And I think Toronto may make a call soon to start getting somebody warmed up, as Nelson Cruz bats with runners in the corners, 2 outs. Mariners are already ahead 3-0 here in the top of the second. Wow, we are 35 minutes into this broadcast. This is only the top of the second inning. Because this game is just not moving because the Mariners just keep driving in more runs and forcing Latos until deep counts. Latos' first pitch to Cruz misses terribly, bouncing to the plate on a slider, 1-0. Now more balls than strikes, 18 balls, 17 strikes for Latos. Jose Bautista looks very frustrated in the outfield with how this game is turning out, 1-0. In their strike one, 1-1. The only Mariner pitcher Blue Jay pitcher who's been consistent this year, really, and the bullpen's been awesome, but their rotation, Marco Estrada's the only one. 1-1 in their strike two. Aaron Sanchez, they've had to skip a couple of his starts because he's been dealing with a shin issue, and he's got an ERA around 4. It hasn't been too pretty. 1-2 pitch from Latos, inside ball 2. Francisco Liriano has just been horrible. And then you got the Stroman Hap spot, and then Latos. 2-2. Cruz pops one up, shallow center, coming out to Lewitsky. He'll make the nice play, and that retires the side. But not before 2 more Seattle Mariners cross the plate. The M's lead the Jays 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the second right here on WUB Network, America's sports leader. Welcome back to Monster Energy Saturday Afternoon Baseball, our 4th edition here from the Rogers Center. Mariners and Blue Jays squaring off. You might be shocked to find out that we're almost 40 minutes into this broadcast. This is only the bottom of the second inning. Mariners have scrounged out 3 runs on 4 hits against Matt Latos, getting his pitch count up near 40 through 2 innings. Blue Jays come to bat here with Donaldson, Morales, and Pilar in the bottom of the second against Yovani Gallardo, who's thrown just 7 pitches so far to retire the first 3. Donaldson at the plate, and number 20 takes the first pitch high and inside a ball, 1-0 the count. Blue Jays fans trying to get a chant going. Still only down 3 as the first 1-0 is lined into center in front of Leonis Martin. That's a base hit. And into first goes Josh Donaldson, first base runner of the day for the Blue Jays. As we look at the Mariners' upcoming schedule, they have a 2-game series this upcoming week at the Pirates for 2. And then they are home against Oakland next weekend before setting out on the road once again during Memorial Day. So Gallardo at the mound, and coming to the plate here to face him will be Kendrys Morales, who is hitting .276 on the year, 2 homers, 8 ribbies, not the best defensive first baseman. They've moved Melvin Upton to the DH spot because he's been dealing with leg issues all season. As Morales lines the first pitch foul, 0-1 down the left side. Go switch with the sign, the 0-1 pitch. Just a little inside to Morales and a fastball. 1-1, count is even. One and one, here it comes. Lined by Morales to right center. That's in the gap. That's going to roll to the wall. Chasing it is Martin. Donaldson to third. Will he try to score? He is. And no throw from Jarrod Dyson. The run scores an RBI double from Kendrys Morales, and the Blue Jays are on the board. It's 3-1 in the bottom of the second. It's a perfect pitch from Morales. Donaldson never hesitated, and that's why he was able to score from first without a throw on a hard-hit double. So Morales drives in the run, the Blue Jays' first of the day, trying to get Latos at least a little run support to leave this manageable when the bullpen comes in, which probably will be early in the game. So back-to-back hits surrendered by Yovani Gallardo, and now he's got to get back under control with Kevin Pilar at the plate. During the current homestand, Pilar has driven in 5. Runner in scoring position here with nobody out. Can he do it again? First pitch popped back to the screen. Gosewich takes a look. That's going to be back there into the stands, 0-1. Pilar only 283. Remember, he hit in the 330s most of the season last year, finished 336. This pitch ripped down the right field line. Anthony makes the running catch, and that's the first out. He was deep near the warning track, so able to tag and go to third is Kendrys Morales on the play. So we look who leads the league in extra base hits in the American League this season. Mariners are tied for second behind the Royals. Royals at 107. Mariners, Orioles each at 103. Indians at 102. And then the Blue Jays are at 98, just behind. Here's Russell Martin, just a 195 average for him this season, a pair of homers, 6 RBI. He's got a good chance to drive in his 7th run of the year with a runner on third and 1 out. But with a runner on third and less than 2 outs, he's batting .080 this season. But this time he lines one up the middle, off the second base bag into center. Run scores, and the Blue Jays have cut it to 3-2. Russell Martin comes through with the RBI single. A high-scoring affair early. Giovanni Gallardo not looking his best. He looked great in the first, and now coming apart here in the second. 3 hits surrendered, 4 hard-hit balls. And it's 3-2, and now all of a sudden the Blue Jays have the go-ahead run at the plate in Devin Travis. Gallardo. Mariners, surprisingly, Scott Service is not sending the pitching coach out right now. Devin Travis comes to the batter's box. Just a 184 average for him this season. He and Mitch Ney have split the time at second base. Ney was hitting really good at the beginning of the season, the youngster, but started to go into a tailspin, went 2 for 30, and Travis was back from the DL. They slotted him in. 1-0 pitch now. Second one in a row misses downstairs from Gallardo. He's thrown 10 pitches this inning. The only ones that have been in the strike zone have been the ones that have been hard hit. 2-0. Martin not a big lead at all. First 2-0. Misses low. 3-0. Oh boy. Struggling on the mound from both these pitchers today. It's Gallardo getting in trouble. 3-0 the pitch. Swing and a miss. He threw the high heat right down the middle. Travis couldn't time it at 94. 3-1 the count. 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4, and that'll put the tying run in scoring position with 1 out, and out comes the pitching coach. As that will bring up Melvin Upton Jr. They go back. Gosewich and Gallardo talk it over. As now up to the plate will come the 9-man in the order, and that is Melvin Upton Jr., who has a 176 average this season, 5 homers, 6 ribbies, 0 for 3 last night with a walk and a pair of strikeouts. So we just take a look what's going on in this bullpen. So we first take a look in the Toronto pen. No work right now. Seattle, they are already getting Dylan Overton stretching. They want to keep their success up. And the bullpen has not been necessary the last few days. So they have room to maneuver. First pitch, Upton takes fastball on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. First and second, 1 out. 3-2, Mariners lead. Blue Jays have already scrounged up a pair this inning, and another high heat pitch from Gallardo. Upton fans who misses. 0-2 the count. Can Gallardo retire him? It's back to the top of the order after him. They won't want to have to worry about that. 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Nasty break on the curveball. Upton goes down on 3 pitches as Gallardo racks up his second strikeout of the game. Already up at 16 pitches this inning is Gallardo. He Ks his second. And just like that, there's 2 away with Ezekiel Carrera coming up with first and second. Carrera's had a great year, had a walk-off early in the season against Baltimore. Walk-off homer. Flew out his first time. In his career against the Mariners, has hit over 300. First pitch. Inside, ball 1. Gosewich set up inside. Gallardo hit the spot just a little too far inside for the liking of the home plate umpire today, who's Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief. 1-0. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Gary Cedarstrom, the home plate umpire. You got Gabe Morales over at first. Ryan Duke at second. And Mike Porter at third. Lower part of the zone on the 1-1 pitch, but he gets the call anyway, and now Gallardo ahead 1-2. He's throwing hard as Dylan Overton is getting to work in the bullpen. 1-2 pitch. Just misses a little high and outside. 2-2 the count. Mariners will be back up in the next inning with Seager, Martin, and Gosewich for Matt Latos to worry about. Ready a pair of runs across here in the second. 2-2 pitch. This one lined into right center. Anthony, long run. He will get there and make the catch, and that retires the side. So a couple runs on a couple hits, and they'll leave two stranded. To the third inning we go here on Monster Energy Saturday Afternoon Baseball. The Mariners leading the Blue Jays 3-2. We'll be back. Here's Kyle Seager. He drew a walk his first time at the plate. So Matt Latos will be pitching again here in the third inning. Latos so far has thrown 39 pitches, 19 balls, 20 strikes. 40th pitch of the day is in there, strike one. Seager, not really flashy numbers this season. It's weird how Seager and Cruz are the two guys who have really shut down this season. Only a .253 mark this year for him. Just 2 homers for Kyle Seager. His younger brother Corey is having much more success this season than he is. Corey, of course, a shortstop for the Dodgers in his second season with the team. NL Rookie of the Year a season ago. 0-1 pitch. This one is lined foul into the bleachers on the left side, just past the third base dugout. 0-2 the pitch. Here it comes from Latos. Jabbing at one that was down and fouling it off home plate and out of play. 0-2. Seager fights on. The 0-2 pitch. This one is popped up, shallow center, long run, Carrera, Pilar calls him off, makes the catch, and that's the first out of this top of the third inning. So we look at the early season AL ranks of the Mariners. They are first in batting average, hits, on-base percentage, runs, stolen bases, and wins. That's a lot of categories to be first in. Seattle just keeps firing away. As here's Leonis Martino for one with a ground out. They have played 6 extra inning games and have come out on top in all 6 of them. First pitch misses low, ball 1 on the changeup. Interesting statistics. Also another one, half their losses have come from Oakland. They've lost 3 of their 6 losses have come against the A's, and they play them again the next weekend. 1-0 pitch. This is grounded down to third. Donaldson makes a nice spin move, throws across his body to first base, gets it on a nice throw to Morales, and that's the second out of the third inning. So the offense is settling down. So look at who's, in terms of runs, who's on top of the American League. We said the Mariners, they're up by 19 over the Tigers at 180, Tigers 161, Angels 159, 154 apiece for the Royals and Orioles, as Tuffy Gosewich, who reached on an errant throw by Devin Travis his first time, comes to the plate with 2 away. First pitch from Latos. Grounded to first, Morales grabs it, runs to first, and Latos has a solid 7-pitch, 1-2-3 inning, works out of it quickly. Blue Jays offense will go back to work with the heart of the order up. Bottom of the third, Mariners leading 3-2. Remember, with the NBA Finals and the NBA 2K16 playoff simulation coming, you know what's going to happen. We are going to broadcast all of the NBA Finals games from Game 1 all the way to a possible Game 7. They will all be right here on WUB Network. Who's your pick? Cavs, Warriors, Rockets, Mavericks, Clippers. It's very split. Who do you think is going to get it? We'll have more playoff games coming in the next couple of weeks. Probably after Memorial Day, we'll have a lot of conference finals games for you right here on WUB Network. Here's Troy Tulowitzki at the plate facing Gallardo, who threw a 7-pitch first, a 21-pitch second, where he surrendered a pair of runs on 3 hits. First pitch to Tulowitzki is in there, strike 1. Nice movement on the slider at 90 miles an hour. Looked to be on the outside, and it just broke right in. Nice sliding pitch, 0-1. Tulowitzki was really fooled by that. All 3 of Gallardo's hits, though, that he's given up have been because of that slider. All 3 hits have been off of that slider. 0-1 is the slider again. This one on the outside part of the plate doesn't get the call from Cedarstrom. 1-1. 1-1 pitch. This one is popped up, shallow right, long run Anthony. Anthony coming in near the infield. He'll make the catch, and that's the first out. So look at how the Blue Jays rank in the early season. They're 3rd in ERA, 3rd in homers, 4th in doubles, 5th in average with runners in scoring position, 6th in batting average. They're the type of team that's got a good chance of being a wild card. They look like a wild card team. And a wild card game just wouldn't be good because you would have no idea who they'd bring in as a pitcher. Especially if Happ isn't too healthy or strong when he comes back from injury. First pitch taken by Bautista, a slider high outside corner, 0-1. Right now the Blue Jays are on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoff picture. 0-1. In there, strike 2. This would be, I believe, the Yankees and Tigers that would be squaring off in the wild card game right now. You know it would be Verlander and Tanaka. 0-2, low, ball 1. Bautista with a good eye took that power curve out of the zone. Doesn't get any easier for Gallardo as Josh Donaldson is up next. Gosowicz the sign. The 1-2 pitch to Jose Bautista. Swing and a miss. Gallardo got him with the high heat fastball upstairs at 95. 3rd strikeout for Gallardo. And Jose Bautista, who's had a strong year, a whole bunch of homers, just not looking too strong there. And that's going to be the 2nd out, and Josh Donaldson comes to the plate for the Blue Jays. You hear the Blue Jays fans trying to shout down the Let's Go Mariners chants. 1-for-1 a run scored so far for Donaldson. He started the big bottom of the 2nd rally, and he takes the first pitch, a fastball down the middle, strike 1. Just looking at Gallardo's season numbers, we're going to take a quick look. Giovanni, now his pitching is up over, his ERA is up over 2. It's at 2.14 after he surrendered those 2 early runs. But before it was a 1.78 ERA. He's 3-0 this season. Has struck out 26. Strikeouts and hits are the identical number. It's good to have those close. Preferably on the lower end of the spectrum in terms of hits. He's only given up 6 earned runs, now 8. He's just looked so good out of this rotation. And having him as a veteran really helps to balance out the youth on this Mariners team, which is one of the reasons they've been so successful. 0-1, Donaldson takes it in there 0-2. Donaldson not too strong of a year either. After all these guys were hitting the 300s with Blue Jays last season, Mariners look a lot like last season's Toronto Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays, of course, fell apart late and ended up losing in the wild card game. Just a 283 mark for Donaldson. Just 5 home runs. And doubles and triples combined, he's only got 3. Which is just really weird for him. 0-2 to Donaldson. The pitch. Inside ball 1. And now 1-2. See what Gallardo throws here. Will he try to blow him away or will he throw something off speed? Right out of the zone. We'll find out here. 1-2. It's an off-speed pitch, and it's a swing and a miss by Donaldson. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the 3rd for Gallardo. We'll head to the 4th inning with the Seattle Mariners on top on Monster Energy Saturday afternoon baseball, 3-2. We'll be back. Guillermo Heredia up here in the 4th inning. Flew out his first time. Latos' first pitch after a great 3rd where he only threw 7 pitches as a changeup in their strike 1. Dylan Overton no longer warming up in the Mariner pen. No action in the Toronto pen either. Latos got it back under control in the last inning. We'll see what happens here. 0-1. Heredia takes another one. This is another 2-seamer in there. 0-2 the count. Russell Martin the sign. Latos agrees. The 0-2 pitch. He deals. Outside, ball 1. That one got away from him on a power curve. First ball, the at-bat 1-2. And pitch number 50 coming here for Latos. The 1-2 pitch. Upstairs, and after being ahead 0-2, now Good eye from Heredia to even the count back up at 2-2. Heredia, Danny Valencia, and then back to Jarrod Dyson already for the third time. 2-2 pitch. Heredia slaps one down to first. Morales grabs it with the glove, runs over to first to step on the bag. Second straight play that he's had to make like that. And that's the first out of the top of the fourth inning. Leto's starting to get into a groove. He's retired 5 in a row. After that 2-out RBI to make it 3-0 from Robinson Cano. Valencia walked and scored back in the bottom of the second. First pitch to Danny. High ball 1. Valencia in his last 4 games is hitting .600. He's hitting 6 for 10 in the last 4. One was a pinch hit appearance. 1-0. Low. Good eye. 2-0 the count. Latos the windup. The 2-0 pitch. This one dribbled, scorched foul down the right side. 2-1, first strike of the at-bat Latos has been able to get. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Valencia. On the slider, the count is even 2-2. Back to Jarrod Dyson next, and he's a force to be reckoned with. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Whoa, Valencia almost fell over on that fastball. 97 from Latos. And oh my goodness, Valencia nearly fell over on that swing. He swung so hard because he thought this ball was coming right down the middle. He looked like he wanted to hit a 600-foot home run. And he swung so incredibly hard at this ball. And it was high and upstairs, and he's fooled. So Latos racks up the strikeout. That's his first of the day. And now Jarrod Dyson. Jarrod Dyson. There are so many Jarrod Dyson t-shirts here even in Toronto. Mariners fans traveling. As Dyson's saga has begun this season, and he'll easily be a starter in the All-Star game. It's amazing how he's come back from that injury when he tore his meniscus last season in a horrible collision at second base with Brandon Geyer, putting both of them out for the long term. First pitch to Dyson, who's 2 for 2 today, and he takes one for a strike 0-1. The numbers for Dyson: he singled back in the first inning. He stole a base and scored. Then he singled in the second inning to drive in a run. So 2 for 2, 2 singles, a run, a stolen base, an RBI. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Latos to Dyson. Misses badly outside, 1-1. That was the power curve. Dyson gets a curveball in the zone. That's when things can get bad. Here is the 1-1 pitch. Dyson gets his hands on that one, but it's popped up foul. Donaldson, no play. That goes into the seats. 1-2. Latos looking for back-to-back Ks. He'd love that here. Pitch number 60. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got Jarrod Dyson. Latos strikes out 2 in a row to end the fourth. Latos back in a groove after the rocky first 2 innings. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. Offense is slowed down. Mariners leading 3-2. We'll be back. Here's Kendrys Morales, who started the big rally in the fourth inning. After Donaldson got that single, Kendrys Morales drove a ball into the right center field gap for an RBI double to get the chaos started in that inning. Bottom of the fourth, Gallardo at 39 pitches through 3, facing Morales, Pilar, and Russell Martin. First pitch. Low, ball 1, goes switches to grab it from the dirt. As a curveball, they were aiming for it to go down there, but Morales just wouldn't chase it. The 1-0 offering. Inside, ball 2. On the fastball. Gallardo's 2-0 pitch. This one is grounded down to third. Corralled by Seager. Throw to first. Got him. First out. So we look next Thursday. How about the Braves and the Giants squaring off? Two teams struggling. Matt Kemp, Buster Posey, rivals before. Now Matt Kemp with the Atlanta Braves. We'll see what happens as the Braves, Giants try to turn around from their early season woes. That'll be on Fox. Kevin Pillar, 0 for 1 with a flyout so far. First pitch, low, ball 1. Mariners fans have given up on trying to, I guess, battle on the chance, as you could hear a clear "Let's go Jays" instead of in the third when you heard Jays and Mariners both coming through. 1-0 to Pillar. Lines went up the middle, past the diving Cano with the second base bag. That's a base hit, and the tying run is on with 1 out. And coming to the plate, it is Russell Martin. Nice liner up the middle, and now Russell Martin bats. Martin has been playing through an injury recently. Remember, I think this was last Sunday when he left the game early after spraining an ankle, it appeared, trying to leg out a double. Running over to second, he just stepped awkwardly at the second base bag. And he sat out all of the series this week against Tampa Bay. And they had the backup in there. They had to bring in Saltalamacchia to play behind the plate for all 3 of those games. But he is back now, played yesterday and is playing today as well. So runner on first. The first pitch from Gallardo to Martin. Martin lines one to left. That's a base hit. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. Coming around to third. Coming around to score is Pillar. There is not going to be a throw to the plate. Martin going for 3. The throw down the third. He is out by a mile. I don't know what he was thinking. That'll take them out of the possibility of taking the lead. But the Blue Jays with Russell Martin an RBI double. And we are tied at 3. No runners on for Devin Travis now, and 2 away, but a single and an RBI double from Russell Martin evens this game back up at 3 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's Travis, drew a walk his first time. I believe it was even a 4-pitch walk. First pitch from Gallardo. Low, ball 1. 1-0 is the count. That was a curveball that missed pretty badly. 1-0, the pitch arrives, and it's fouled off by Devin Travis off to the left. 1-1 the count. Devin, not a great average, but he is such a great defensive player. That error earlier in the game didn't really show it, though. 1-1 is in there, strike 2 on the fastball. Gallardo's 1-2 pitch. Inside, ball 2. Count is evened up on the power curve. After him, it's Melvin Upton Jr., who was completely fooled in an awful 3-pitch strikeout. 2-2 inside, count is full. Gallardo's pitch count now at the big 5-0. He's at 50 pitches, and Dylan Overton looks like he's starting to stretch again. 3-2 the pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. Gallardo works out of that and gets the strikeout, but not before Russell Martin does something big. After a single, Russell Martin drives him in, gets thrown out at third, but Pillar scores, and we are tied at 3, heading to the 5th right here on WUB Network, America's sports leader. Taylor Anthony comes to the plate now to face Matt Litos, who has thrown 60 pitches. And Dylan Overton is warming up in the pen right now. Overton this season has only had 2 appearances. Both of them turned out to be victories, with him pitching for the stretch. There are actually 4 lefties in that Mariner pen, with Furbush, Mark Repchinski, who has gone back and forth a lot of different roles. He's been a closer a couple times when Edwin Diaz needed some rest. And then, of course, you got Smiley and Overton with Casey Fiend, Nick Vincent, who came in a package deal from the Padres, and Edwin Diaz, the three righties. Here's Taylor Anthony, who is hitting .339 in the year. 1 for 2 so far today with an RBI single. Swing and a miss on the slider on the first pitch. Setting up his target outside there was Martin, 0-1. One of the issues Latos has had is first pitch balls, but he didn't do it there. 0-1 is a fastball outside. Anthony swung and missed at. 0-2 the count. Here in the top of the fifth. 3-3, we're all knotted up. 0-2. Anthony, good eye, takes the two-seamer low and away. 1-2. Mariners jumped out to an early 3-0 lead in the second. Most of the credit went to Jarrod Dyson. Dyson, Anthony, and Cano have each driven in a run today. But the Blue Jays battled back with 2 in the bottom half of the second, and then an additional run in that last half inning from Russell Martin, making it 3-3 here in the top of the fifth. 1-2 the pitch. Anthony lines one up the middle off the pitcher's mound, almost got Latos, and that's a base hit. And now that'll bring up Robbie Cano. So we look at the stolen base leaders in baseball this season. Of course, no surprise the Mariners are number 1 at 36. White Sox right behind them. Then the Yankees, Rays, and Houston Astros round out the top 5 in the AL. Here's Cano, who drove in a run and a single up the middle his last time. Anthony with a humongous lead off first base. And he's running on the first pitch. First pitch in there, strike one. Throw down to second, not in time. Anthony gets in there. And Taylor Anthony, the second-year man, with his 6th stolen base of the year. And the Blue Jays don't have to worry about a runner in scoring position with nobody out. But they did get the first pitch strike there to Robbie Cano. 0-1. Is belted by Cano into the gap, and that's going to roll all the way to the wall. Anthony around third, he's going to score. Cano to second with a stand-up RBI double. Robinson Cano drives in his second run of the day, and the Blue Jays now fall behind once again. It's 4-3 Mariners with nobody out here in the fifth. Definitely not what they hoped for. And now Giovanni Gallardo has a lead just when the Blue Jays looked like they had the momentum shifting in their direction when Russell Martin drove in that run. Right back come the Mariners, and they lead 4-3. As Nelson Cruz will come up. So the top 3 in the Seattle batting order have driven in all 4 runs today. As Cruz has flown out twice today. Latos at 66 pitches. First pitch, Martin sets up outside. Ball's outside, 1-0. It was a slider at 88. We're just going to take a quick look in the pens. We know Dylan Overton up in the Seattle pen. Toronto, still nothing going. Even though Latos is having some major struggling out there with that ERA up to 5.58 on the season. And now they're going to give the sign, it's an intentional walk, and Nelson Cruz is going to get on. The balls that are not really thrown in intentional walks still count to your pitch count, so his pitch count is up to 70, but really he's only thrown 67. Blue Jays' upcoming schedule, they play 4 in Tampa Bay this upcoming week after they hosted Tampa Bay for 3. A Stroman-Archer matchup on Tuesday. Then they're in Boston for the weekend. Some good matchups upcoming. Of course, the Red Sox now have gone to a different rotation option with Bronson Arroyo in the rotation. He and Aaron Sanchez are probably going to square off next Saturday. First pitch misses terribly from Latos outside, 1-0. So this inning, a single from Anthony, a stolen base, an RBI double by Cano, an intentional walk to Nelson Cruz have made it first and second, nobody out, and the Mariners already have gotten another run. They're up 4-3. 1-0 pitch. Seager takes one right down the middle, 1-1. Neither Cano nor Cruz have either have any sort of big lead off their respective bases. 1-1 shot by Seager, just fouled on the left field line, 1-2. If the Mariners are able to pull out the victory, they'll be 26-6. 1-2. Grounded. Second base. Double play. Nice flip by Travis. Tutulo for one. Back to first. Not in time. But they do eliminate Nelson Cruz. Runners on the corners with one out. And Leonys Martin batting. Leonys has had such an incredible season. I feel like we're saying that about every single person in this Mariner lineup. But Leonys especially too. He's not played in all the games. But 33 for 91 in what he has played in is incredible. And he's already gotten 11 extra base hits. He'd love another one here. With one out and runners on the corners. Mariners up 4-3 here in our 4th ever edition of Monster Energy Saturday Afternoon Baseball. Martin bats, first pitch. In there, strike one the call from Gary Cederstrom on the fastball. Cederstrom always has a delayed strike call. I feel like it's almost like he tries to work the drama angle. Runners on the corners. 0-1. Grounded up the middle. A dive by Tulowitzki. He put his glove on second, and that's the double play. Oh, wow. Troy Tulowitzki makes an incredible play to get the double play, and the Mariners only score one in this inning. An inning where they scored a run already and had first and second and nobody out. Tulowitzki, as he dove for that ball, rolling, it bounced off the pitcher's mound, and he dove and he got the ball in his glove. His glove grazed the second base bag, and he was able to stand up and throw out Leonys Martin. So a run on 2 hits, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Blue Jays trailing 4-3 on Monster Energy Saturday Afternoon Baseball on WUB Network, America's sports leader. You can hear Seattle fans cheering, some Toronto fans cheering after that amazing play, and Toronto fans booing Latos off the mat. It's a big mixture of cheers and boos right now. With Melvin Upton at the plate, he struck out terribly his first time. Upton then back to the top of the order. First pitch, he gets in the lower part of the strike zone, lifts it foul to the first base side, 0-1. Looked like a pop-up, but the wind took it. It's a pretty gusty day here. Temperatures, though, in the 70s. It's a nice day. 0-1, swing and a miss, and now it's quickly 0-2. Gallardo's gotten through 4 and has the lead, even though he has not been his strongest. Looking for a 6th strikeout, though, here. We haven't talked about his K numbers much. 0-2. Outside to Upton, 1-2 the count. One and two, the pitch. Swing and a miss, got him. Upton goes down swinging. Another nice strikeout. Second in a row, in fact, from Gallardo. That's his 6th overall. And now it'll be Ezequiel Carrera coming to the plate with 1 out on the 5th inning. As Carrera takes his steps into the batter's box, it'll be his 3rd plate appearance of the day. As we look at the AL team opponent batting average over the last 10 days, Yankees are on top at 207 in that pitching staff. Blue Jays 2nd. Mariners still get into the top 5. Pair of flyouts so far today for Ezequiel Carrera. So we just take a quick scan over to the Toronto bullpen, where there are some arms up. We'll see if Latos lasts any longer. Looks like David Herndon, the former Philadelphia Philly, along with Lucas Harrell, are both up. They're completely opposite, polar opposites. Herndon's been very reliable this season, his ERA around 3. Harrell, the complete opposite. Curveball looked to be near the dirt, but Gary Cederstrom got the call, and you could hear some Blue Jay fans that weren't all that pleased with the call. 0-1 the count. Gallardo runs the count to 0-2 with that curveball in there. Now it's 0-2 with Troy Tulowitzki on deck, coming off of that spectacular defensive play he made on the unassisted double play. 0-2, popped up Carrera out of play behind the screen. Switch gave it chase. Very good defensive catcher. Here's the 0-2. He calls for the fastball, the number 1, and it works. Swing and a miss. Down goes Carrera on the fastball on the outside part of the plate. 7th strikeout for Giovanni Gallardo. Third in a row, second of the inning, and he'll look to strike out the side now with Troy Tulowitzki in the bottom of the 5th. Here's Troy Tulowitzki, 0 for 2, strikeout, a flyout, .221 batting average, 3 homers, 8 ribbies. Gallardo's first pitch. Outside, ball 1. Gallardo's one issue today, and we just saw it from a Fox graphic they're doing the game, is that he's not getting people to chase pitches. Most of them have been on the outside part of the zone, and people aren't chasing them. A lot of them in the dirt. Lato's having a similar issue. 1-0, two-seamer right down the middle, taken all the way by Tulo, 1-1. Gallardo's going to have a party the next inning with Batista and Donaldson, if he can retire Tulo here. 1-1 is in there. No, they're going to call it a ball. It looked like it was in there. Blue Jay fans happy with that call. 2-1. Gallardo's 63rd pitch of the day is popped up behind the first base bag, and making the play easily is Danny Valencia, and that will end the 5th inning. We will head to the 6th here on Monster Energy Saturday afternoon baseball here on WUB Network, America's sports leader. The Blue Jays have the advantage. The Blue Jays are trailing 4-3. We'll be back. Set and rolling now in the top of the 6th inning between the Mariners and Blue Jays. Bottom of the order for Seattle facing Matt Latos, who's at 76 pitches through 5. Gosewich up first as the Mariners lead it 4-3 here on Monster Energy Saturday afternoon baseball. Russell Martin with the sign. He had a big hit in the last inning. First pitch in there, strike 1, 0-1 the count. And 2 innings ago. It was an early 3-0 start for the Mariners that they jumped out early on Matt Latos. Blue Jays battled back for 2 in the bottom of the 2nd. 0-1 to go switch, paints the outside part of the zone 0-2. And then a big RBI double from Russell Martin tied the game at 3, but Seattle battled right back with a couple big hits, and they got the 4-3 advantage. 0-2 just misses outside in the two-seamer, 1-2 the count. Still a couple up in the Blue Jay pen. Lucas Harrell and David Herndon both warming up. 1-2 swing and a miss by Gosewich. Swinging badly on that fastball, and Matt Latos has really gotten back under control ever since those first 2 innings of this game. Now that's his 3rd strikeout. Just looking so much stronger than he did in the first couple innings. Of course, we called his no-hitter here on WUB Network about 6 weeks ago. Not as amazing now. So 1 out, and that will bring up the 8-man in the Seattle Mariners order, and that is Guillermo Heredia, who is pretty much splitting time at that left field spot with Taylor Motter, the right-handed hitter. Taylor Motter always plays against lefties. Heredia plays most of the time against righties. Heredia, .252 mark on the year, 4 homers, 21 ribbies. 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a flyout. Latos' first offering is low in the dirt on a fastball that slipped out of his hands. 1-0 the count. The sign. The 1-0 pitch. Inside, ball 2. 2-0 now the count. Latos has not gotten people to chase pitches. An issue we were talking about with Gallardo as well today. 2-0 changeup paints the outside part of the zone. 2-1. Heredia is still ahead in the count. Latos looks in for the sign. The 2-1 pitch. Low. Not the best spot for that fastball. Now we'll see if Heredia gets the green light. Ahead 3-1. 1 out, nobody on. Latos now at 84 pitches. The 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4, and the speedy Guillermo Heredia is on first with just 1 out, with Danny Valencia coming up. So Valencia will bat, and Matt Latos does not look too pleased with himself. So we take a quick look in the bullpens and see what's going on. Dylan Overton has sat down in the Seattle pen. He is no longer warming up. On the other side, the boys in white and blue, it is just David Herndon right now. Lucas Harrell has sat down. That could change as Matt Latos gives up that walk, his 4th walk issued of the afternoon. So trying to reset here with the 9-man in the order, the first baseman Danny Valencia up. Valencia 0 for 1 with a walk, a strikeout, and a run scored. Big lead off first for Heredia. Already a pair of stolen bases for Seattle today. First pitch in their strike one. They're from the two you'd expect stealing bases at 1 and 2 in the batting order, Jarrod Dyson and Taylor Anthony. 0 and 1. Heredia with a huge lead, not going this pitch, as Valencia takes another fastball in there, and Latos quickly ahead 0 and 2. On deck, it's Jarrod Dyson, who's 2 for 3 today. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Valencia lifts one, skies it foul off to the left. Donaldson no play, and we'll go 0-2 again. Humongous lead for Heredia. He's running. 0-2, grounded to first, grabbed by Morales, no play at second, but he will tag out Valencia. That's the second out. So getting to second there was Heredia. That broke up the chance of a possible double play. He gets over there quickly. So, speedy runner in Heredia at second with Jarrod Dyson up, and a change as David Herndon is going to come in this track phone call to the bullpen. We'll be back. So David Herndon into the game. He'll face Jarrod Dyson. First pitch he'll throw back to second, and not going anywhere is Heredia. So first real pitch of the at-bat. Dyson lifts one into the right field corner, running over Batista. He makes the catch by the line, and that will retire the side. So David Herndon, a very reliable arm. A 0.82 ERA in 12 appearances this season for Toronto. He works out of another jam, and the Mariners will strand one in scoring position. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Still a tight one here in Toronto. 4-3 Seattle leads. We'll be back. So the heart of the order now batting for the Jays against a tiring Giovanni Gallardo. Batista, Donaldson, Morales, with Gallardo at 63 pitches through 5. Go switch with the sign. The first pitch is blasted by Batista deep to left center. Long run, and Martin makes the catch by the warning track near the scoreboard. Nice run down by Martin. Now prevail the 25-6 Mariners lead. 11 outs away from the victory to get to 20 games over 500 for the first time all season. And one of the earliest ever we've seen someone get there. Blue Jays trying to rally their troops, and it's Josh Donaldson coming to the plate, just hitting 170 over the past 2 weeks, and he has not hit a homer in 14 games. Can he change it? Gallardo's first pitch. It's a curveball looked at low, 1-0. His curveballs are just not working today. He's got to throw either the slider or the fastball. Lucas Harrell still up in the Toronto pen. The 1-0 pitch. Donaldson gets under this one. Center field. Martin's got a play on it. He'll make the catch, 2 away, and that'll bring up Kendrys Morales. So Gallardo making quick work early in this inning. So here's Morales, 1 for 2. He had that RBI double that started the Blue Jays scoring back in the bottom of the 2nd. First pitch from Gallardo. Blasted up the middle by Morales. That almost got Giovanni. And the tying run's on first base now with Kevin Pillar coming up. That one just missed. That might have even grazed the hip of Gallardo. I don't know. No, it missed him, but not by much. So 2 outs. Here's Kevin Pillar, hitting .444 on the homestand, 1 for 2 today. Not any speed on first with Kendrys Morales, and Pillar rockets one to right center. That's going to fall in and roll all the way to the wall. Morales heading to third. Morales, is he going to try to score? He is. Now he's going back to third. Now he is going to try to score. The throw home. He is safe. Ghost Switch lost the ball and we're tied. Kendrys Morales was rounding third, then he went back near third base, and then he started running. Dyson with a great throw to the plate, but Tuffy Ghost Switch could not hang on to the ball. And that's not that Morales forced it out. They made a slight collision, but no blocking the plate. That was clean. And Ghost Switch just let the ball slip out of his hands. He did not have it secured in the glove. I think it was still in his right hand when he tried to tag him. It was not even in his glove. But anyway, the ball gets knocked free. An RBI double for Kevin Pillar. A 2-out rally from the Blue Jays. And they have tied this one at 4. And now Giovanni Gallardo's got to work as he faces Russell Martin. Russell Martin 2 for 2. A double, has driven in runs in both of his at-bats today. Will he continue the success? Gallardo's first pitch. Swing and a miss by Martin. He was going for the home run there. 12-6 curve, 0-1. 0-1 pitch to Russell Martin. That one's low and inside. 1-1, count is even on the two-seam fastball. Pillar at second, he had the RBI double to tie this one at 4 in the bottom of the 6th, 2 outs. And now they're going to give the sign, and Martin's going to be granted the intentional walk. Didn't look too good in his first 2 pitches, so that'll put first and second for Devin Travis. So now here comes Devin Travis. Gallardo's pitch count at 73. You can tell he's tiring. This is not one of his better starts this season. He has surrendered 3 earned runs, 4 total. He has gotten a lot of strikeouts today. He's K'd 7. He'd love one here with Travis up. Travis has struck out once today. He's also drawn a walk. First pitch. Ghost Switch sets it up, and it's outside, 1-0. Both these teams have solid pens. It's the starting pitching that can sometimes be a struggle. 1-0. Outside ball 2. Struggles are much more common for the Blue Jays, which is why they have a worse record than Seattle. 2-0. Gallardo's pitch. Low, 3-0. And now a chance to swing here for Travis with 3-0. And the bottom of the order in Melvin Upton Jr. on deck. 3-0 pitch. He grounds one to short. Picked up on a hop by Cano. Throws to first. A skip, but it gets there, and that'll retire the side. Blue Jays do tie the game on an RBI double by Kevin Pillar. We head to the 7th. Knotted up at 4 here on WUB Network, America's sports leader. Heart of the order due up here for Seattle. It's Anthony, it's Robinson Cano, it's Nelson Cruz. How will David Herndon manage this? Anthony up. Herndon got a 1-pitch out his first time, and the first pitch here is a sinker that misses outside ball 1. Herndon a veteran, as right now in the Seattle pen, Dylan Overton is sat down. Mark Repchinski is currently stretching. Herndon, now at 32 years old in his 8th Major League season, pitched last year for the Braves for a while, then came here in a trade. He has not surrendered a home run this season. He's only allowed 17 hits in 12 appearances. Swing and a miss by Anthony on the fastball. Count is even, 1-1. 1-1. Anthony fouls off the sinker. Nice movement on that pitch, 1-2. Martin sets up the target, the 1-2. Anthony blasts one to left center. That's going to go to the gap and roll all the way to the wall. Bouncing off the wall. And over to second goes Taylor Anthony. with a leadoff double, and up will come Robbie Cano with a chance to drive in a run. So here's Robbie Cano, 2 for 3, a double, a fly out. He's driven in a pair. And the signal, the intentional walk, Robinson Cano. Cano now is on. 2 on, nobody out, and Nelson Cruz to the plate. Now, this is not a situation you want to deal with. I don't really understand that intentional walk. I know he's driven in a couple, and I know Nelson's not as confident a hitter. First pitch from Herndon misses low, ball 1. And now with 2 guys with decent speed on base, you got to watch out for a double steal, because Seattle would do anything to get both these guys and runners in scoring position. 1-0, swing and a miss. Cruz thought that was a fastball. Fooled on the 79-mile-an-hour curve from Herndon. Count is even, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 offering. That one misses low, gloved by Martin, 2-1. Martin's had to stop quite a few back there in the dirt, and playing with that ankle injury, that's not the easiest thing to do. 2-1. Cruz gets a piece of one and fouls it deep near the foul pole. What a shot by Cruz, but it's foul. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Nelson Cruz. David Herndon working out a jam. He's come in jams a lot this season. Now he's manifested his own jam, but right now he gets the first out, and the big power threat Nelson Cruz is gone, 1 away, still first and second, and Kyle Seager the batter next. We look which teams have the most strikeouts over the last 10 games in terms of pitching. The Mariners, of course, even up there, are tied for the lead with the Yankees at 82, then it's the Orioles at 81, followed by Oakland and Kansas City and Cleveland, who are tied. Throwback to second, check it on Anthony. Not going anywhere. It's good to keep a wise eye on him. Anthony is always a threat out there to steal. So now here comes the first pitch to Seager. Seager lines one up the middle, that's a base hit. Anthony's rounding third. Here he comes. No throw. And it's the 5-4 M's lead. An RBI single from Kyle Seager off of David Herndon. His 18th ribby of the year, and the Mariners lead 5-4. Big hit there from Seager is a fastball right down the middle from Herndon. Almost got him as it came right back up the other way on a roller. Anthony gets home to score, and the Mariners get the lead back. It's now 5-4. So now Herndon's got to pitch out of a jam because it doesn't get much easier because now it's Leonis Martin to worry about. And they're going to have a meeting at the mound to try to calm down David Herndon because he looks very tense out there. He has not had to pitch in these types of situations all year. The ERA rising to 1.21. It was at 0.83. Next lowest in his career other than this season was a 3.32 mark he had 2011 with the Phillies. First pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No. Leonis Martin didn't break. Lucas Harrell had been warming up. Not anymore. Now Joe Smith, who's had a solid year here in Toronto, he's getting warmed up. Here's the 1-0. Misses low. Bad break on the circle change. 2-0 the count. I'd wonder about an intentional walk here to maybe get a run to get the runner at the plate. 2-0, outside ball 3. And they'll just give the signal so he doesn't have to throw any extra pitches. An intentional walk. Herndon having a terrible inning. He fell behind 3-0 and he decides the best idea would be to load these bases up and try to pitch out of it in that way. So Tuffy Gosewich has a strikeout, a ground out, also reached on an error and scored earlier in the game. On an errant throw by Devin Travis. First pitch swing and a miss by Tuffy. He goes fishing for a fastball way out low and outside. 0-1. They'll try to nail down the runner at the plate if they're going on a ground out. 0-1 in there, strike 2 on the slider. What he would want is a strikeout or a pop out. He's ahead 0-2 on Gosewich. The pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. David Herndon gets out of that situation, at least for now, gets the second out, and he loves to get out of this with just the single run surrender. Here is Guillermo Heredia getting ready. Pretty much everyone's available in that Toronto bullpen except for Aaron Laup, who's pitched the last 3 days as the lefty. But they do have another lefty option in J.P. Howell, and still they have Ozuna and Grilly and Joe Smith and Lucas Harrell. Here's Heredia. First pitch in there, strike 1. Heredia drew a walk as last time. A 22-pitch inning. Here's number 23 from Herndon. And this one is popped up on the infield. Donaldson, infield fly rule in play, and he makes the catch, and the Mariners leave them loaded. So David Herndon struggles, but he still only surrenders the single run. Stretch time here in Toronto. It's 5-4. We'll be back. Melvin Upton Jr. to the plate. He struck out twice today, as Seattle will continue to stick with Yogani Gallardo at the moment. And then maybe they might try to get through this inning with him. And then send it to Furbush and Edwin Diaz. Furbush is up in the bullpen, the former All-Star, as Gallardo throws his 78th pitch of the day, and Melvin Upton Jr. fouls it off to the right, 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Blasted foul, 0-2 the count. Gosewich sets his target. It's the 0-2 pitch. Curveball on the hand, swing and a miss by Upton. He struck out 3 times today. One more plate appearance and he could risk the golden sombrero. Gallardo gets him swinging, and that is the first out of this 7th inning. Gallardo looking strong, even with all the runs surrendered today. Here's Ezekiel Carrera now. First pitch to Ezekiel is lined up the middle. Dyson backhanded play. Throw to first, gets away, and it goes near the dugout, and it's going to go into the dugout. And an error by Jarrod Dyson. Only his second of the season for a guy who never played second base really till last year. Pretty impressive. But he throws that one to the dugout. And now the tying run at second base with Troy Tulowitzki coming up. And now Nick Vincent is starting to stretch in the bullpen. Would they try to bring him in to face Batista? First pitch, swing and a miss by Tulowitzki and the two-seamer. 0-1 the count. Here's the 0-1. Curveball taken all the way at the upstairs part of the zone. Gallardo ahead 0-2. It's been a solid day. 6 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts for Gallardo, who still kept his ERA at 2.21. Latos on the mound for the Blue Jays today. Not too strong, but he survived. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. David Herndon pitched an inning and a third. He'll probably be done. He threw 24 pitches, 23 in that 7th inning. Walked a pair, gave up a couple of hits, but he only surrendered the single run, and he struck out a pair. Here's the 0-2. Nasty slider. Tulo makes solid contact, fouls it off 0-2. Tulo's average getting down near 200. It's only at 218. And it'll drop even more here as Gallardo gets him a swing and miss. Strikeout number 9 for Giovanni. 2 away here in the 7th. As Batista comes to the plate. First pitch. Jose swings and misses at the fastball on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. It's the 0-1. Batista crushes one. Deep, left center, going back, near the wall. Say goodbye to that ball. Jose Batista with his 9th of the year. And the Blue Jays lead 6-5, and Scott Service is already on his way out to the mound. In will come Nick Vincent. Giovanni Gallardo gives up a shot to Jose Batista, his 9th of the year. And the Blue Jays have the advantage. They lead 6-5. And up goes Jason Grilli in the bullpen, getting ready to try to pitch the 8th. Oh man, what a shot from Jose Batista though. This one was absolutely laced. It was pretty much a line drive shot. Where did this ball hit? This ball was off the facing of the second deck. What a shot from Batista. And in comes Nick Vincent to work on this track phone pitching change. So Vincent coming into the game, he's got a 2.66 ERA. That one really stings though for Giovanni Gallardo. But the runs weren't earned because of the error by Jarrod Dyson. Now the first pitch to Donaldson, swing and a miss on the cutter, 0-1. So now Seattle will once again have to battle back. This game just keeps going back and forth. This is a really good game. 0-1, fastball right down Pater, taken by Donaldson, 0-2. 0-2 pitch. Cutter, swing and a miss, Donaldson down on 3 pitches. But the Blue Jays take the lead back in the bottom of the 7th. Third straight half inning with runs crossing the plate. A 2 spot for Toronto, and they now lead 6-5 as we head to the 8th here on WUB Network, America's sports leader. Danny Valencia comes to the plate as the Blue Jays call on Jason Grilli to pitch this 8th inning. Danny Valencia has had not the best of days. He really hasn't gotten to prove himself much. 0 for 2, a walk and a run scored, and also a strikeout. First pitch, two-seamer, misses wildly, 1-0. Grilli has had a solid year as the 8th inning man out of the pen. But now this one crushed, 1-0, deep, Pilar at the wall, makes a nice jumping catch at the wall. Wow, I thought that one was gone. Danny Valencia. This one would have been just short. It would have clipped off the wall and probably been a triple trickling away from Pilar. But a nice catch by Gold Glover Kevin Pilar, and that's the first out. Jason Grilli, another guy with a great ERA at 1.46 in 9 games, 12 innings pitched. He has 11 strikeouts to show for it. And now up will come Jarrod Dyson, trying to do something big to motivate this Mariners team. Down 6-5. They have the highest team on base percentage at .354, meaning that they have at least one base runner every single inning, on average. First pitch to Dyson. He cracks one to second. Oh, booted by Travis, and he won't recover as the speedy Jarrod Dyson gets to first. Each team now with 2 errors. Both of the Blue Jays' errors have been credit of Devin Travis. Mariners coming from Jarrod Dyson and Goswitch. Travis had that horrible throw back in the bottom of the 2nd. And then now again, having trouble right here. And now Taylor Anthony will bat, having a 3 for 4 day with the tying run at first base in Jarrod Dyson. They'll check on him at first because you know Dyson, that speed is going to be gone. He's already going here. First pitch slider in the dirt. Throw down to second. He is safe. That one was a lot closer than we thought. And now, what in the world just happened? Now they're calling Dyson out. Dyson was leaning off the bag. What was this? This was almost like a hidden ball trick. What was Jarrod Dyson doing? After he had reached second base, he steps off the bag. And deciding to tag him right there was Devin Travis, and he's out. It's the right call by Gabe Morales. What in the world was Jarrod Dyson doing? They're gonna call that, I don't know what they're gonna call that. But he got the steal, and then I don't know what he was doing. He's going to be credited with the stolen base. What in the world was he doing? 1-0 to Anthony. Anthony grounds it up the middle. That's a base hit. That would have scored Jarrod Dyson and tied this game if he hadn't gotten off of second base. As here's Robinson Cano, who was tied for second in the AL in total hits this season. Mark Trumbo leads it with 45. He's tied with Ben Revere, Adrian Beltre up there at 44 apiece. As here's Cano, 2 for 3, a double, a walk, 2 driven in. Cano rips one to first, but a nice snatch by Kendrys Morales, and that'll retire the side. So they would have tied the game on that single by Anthony, but if Jarrod Dyson hadn't stepped off the bag and gotten tagged out, not a good play there from Jarrod, and the Mariners go down. We head to the bottom of the 8th. It's 6-5. The Blue Jays lead here on Monster Energy Saturday afternoon baseball. Kendrys Morales in, as is Charlie Furbush, who is the new pitcher. The 8th inning man for the Mariners. They decide to give him some work. He hasn't worked in the last few days. He was on the disabled list for a while this season. We'll get you up on his numbers in a moment. It was 5-4. The Mariners led. Let's just go back. It was 4-3. The Mariners had taken a clear advantage in the top of the 5th. Bottom of the 6th, an RBI double from Kevin Pillar tied the game at 4. Mariners got right back and drove in a run. Kyle Seeger drove it in to make it 5-4. Then an error by Jarrod Dyson got a runner on, and then a 2-run home run by Jose Bautista to give them a 6-5 lead. Jarrod Dyson got on base in the top half of the 8th inning and stole second, but stepped off of the second base bag and was tagged out subsequently by Devin Travis. He was not on the bag, perfectly legal tag. Anthony got a single. Dyson would have scored if he had been on base, and then a nice snag by Morales to get Cano. 0-1 to Kendrys is lifted to left, and that'll fall in front of Guillermo Heredia, and the Blue Jays have the leadoff man on here in the bottom of the 8th. Things are just falling apart at the seams here for the Mariners. As here's Kevin Pillar, drove in some runs on that ribby double the last time. First pitch, two-seamer, outside, ball 1. We catch you up on Charlie Furbush's numbers, and they have not been good. After an ERA in 2015 of 1.47, followed up by 1.24 last year, he's got a 6.23 ERA through 2 appearances this season, after being hurt for most of the year in the early stretches of the season, and also having a long rehab assignment as he was recovering from a ruptured finger. 6.23 ERA, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's allowed a home run and 4 runs in 2 appearances. That is not what you want to see from Charlie. 1-0. Another one pitches poorly. It's a fastball low and inside of the knees of Pillar. 2-0. 2-0. Pillar grounds one. This is a double play ball. Dyson grabs it, throws second. 1. It's a little too tough for the double play of the speedy Pillar, but they do get the lead runner. Beautiful diving play by Jarrod Dyson. And then turned the other way and made the nice throw down to second. So they eliminate the lead runner. So 1 out, runner on first base. And we will see what will happen next. For the next man up in the order, it's Russell Martin. 2 for 2, a double, a walk, 2 RBI. Furbush, the pitch. Outside, ball 1 on the changeup. 1-0 pitch. This one is driven by Martin deep to center field. Someone with the same spelled last name. It's Leonis Martin back at the warning track who makes the catch. Throws to the cutoff man. Back to first goes Pilar, and that's the second out of this 8th inning. Here's Devin Travis, 0 for 2, a walk and a strikeout today. First pitch, fastball that had a little bit of breaking action on it, 0-1. That's something that everyone likes about Charlie Furbush's fastball. It has some of the best movement, especially when he throws it towards the outside part of the plate and it cuts in towards the middle. That is such a deceiving pitch, and that's how he gets a lot of foul balls and groundouts. 0-1. Pop down the left field line. Heredia on the run. He'll make the catch that retires the side, so the Blue Jays do get a hit, but they'll leave a runner stranded at first. We head to the 9th. Can the Mariners get back in this one, trailing 6-5, or will they suffer only their 7th loss of the season? They got Cruz, Seager, and Leonis Martin to counter Roberto Osuna. Will they come back? You'll just have to keep listening to find out. Here's Nelson Cruz, 0 for 2 on the day. Here's Roberto Osuna in the game. The closer has been very successful this season for Toronto. First pitch to Cruz, lifted, foul off to the left, 0-1. Ozuna's 0-1. Cruz lifts one down to second, bobbled by Travis. Throw to first, thrown away, and that's going to go back to the backstop. Cruz is to go back to first. Another error by Devin Travis. 3 booted balls by Devin today, and Cruz is on with the tying run. So we look at Ozuna's numbers. I mean, the ERA scares you because it's at 8.68, but he's got a ton of strikeouts. He's 5 for 6 on saves. The reason why he's got that number is because of 2 games where he gave up 4 runs apiece in 4-run leads and blew 4-run leads. So here's Kyle Seager. Drove in that last M's run. Runner on first is Nelson Cruz. The pitch, grounded up the middle off the pitcher's mound, followed by Tulo to second. One throw to first is offline, and it'll be a fielder's choice. And now a speedier runner and Kyle Seager on with 1 out, and Leonis Martin the go-ahead run. Ozuna ready to work. First pitch, nice movement on the curve inside part of the plate, but he gets the called strike. 0-1. Seager doesn't look to be going anywhere. 0-1. Grounded to short. Double play ball. Tulo falling back. Second one to first. Not in time. The legs of Leonis Martin just too fast. And the Mariners survive for at least another batter. 2 outs now. And Tuffy Gosewich will be the batter, but it looks like they're going to call in a pinch hitter. Carlos Ruiz has been raking lately. 32 for 82 overall this season. That's a .390 average. And they're going to call him in here instead of Gosewich. And if this were to go to the bottom of the 9th, I guess he'd remain in at catcher, as they're giving Mike Zunino the day off. So Leonis Martin, the tying run at first. Mariners jumped out to a 3-0 lead. That was their biggest lead. They have fallen behind 6-5. Go-ahead 2-run home run from Jose Bautista in the 7th inning gave the Blue Jays this advantage. And E4 and back-to-back fielder's choices makes it Leonis Martin at first and 2 outs. Been a great Monster Energy Saturday afternoon baseball game. First pitch to Ruiz. That's his pitch, a slider. He took it in the middle of the strike zone, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ruiz lifts one to right. That's a base hit. That'll fall quickly in front of Jose Bautista. Stopping at second is Martin. It would have been too risky to go to third. But now first and second with Guillermo Heredia, a left-handed hitter facing Roberto Osuna. 0 for 3 today, a walk, a ground out are some of his signature plate appearances. Ozuna trying to be careful. All 7 pitches he's thrown have been in the strike zone. Now all 8 as the curveball is taken by Heredia, strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss at the two-seamer that bottomed out. And now the Mariners are down to their final strike. They want to get to 20 games over 500. Blue Jays are aiming to get over 500. 15-15, 25-6. Who's going to win it? Final strike. 0-2. The pitch. Outside, ball 1. Good eye from Heredia. And we continue. Now Martin with the sign. The 1-2 pitch. Heredia grounder to second. Another booted ball by Travis. Throw to first, not in time. 4 errors by Devin Travis today. Don't expect to see him in tomorrow at second base. Expect to see Mitch Ney play in that position. Oh my goodness, Travis is just having a meltdown defensively. Second error of the inning from Travis. And now the bases are juiced for Danny Valencia. And Edwin Diaz gets to work in the Mariner bullpen. Of course, Diaz, their closer, with a 1.5 ERA, who has converted all 11 of his saves this year. Here's Danny Valencia. First pitch from Ozuna. Misses outside on the curveball, ball 1. We've been getting some really exciting games here on WUB Network recently. Of course, the Progressive Cup Series race at Los Angeles, that NBA game between the Bulls and Hawks that went to double OT. This one going down to the wire as well. 1-0. Valencia attacks it, fouls it back to the screen, and it bounces all the way to first base. 1-1. Martin at third, Ruiz at second, Heredia at first. The 1-1. Valencia fouls off another. Mariners once again down to their final strike. Ozuna just needs to make one more good pitch to get out of this jam and get the Blue Jays a victory. 1-2. Valencia, a bouncing ball to Travis. Can he make this play? He does. Ball game. Mariners leave him loaded, and they will lose this one 6-5. The Mariners fall to 25-7. Blue Jays back over 500, and they'll have a rubber game tomorrow in Game 3 with Marco Estrada going to the hill for the Toronto Blue Jays, getting opposed by James Paxton. This was a wild one. Mariners looked to be in control early, but if they left in Giovanni Gallardo just a little too long, and he ended up blowing it on that 2-run home run by Jose Bautista in the bottom of the 7th. It was a rocky one for Roberto Ozuna to work out of, but he strands the Mariners and leaves the bases loaded. And the Blue Jays prevail against the best team in baseball 6-5, and you can hear the cheers here at the Rogers Center. We hope you enjoyed this presentation of Monster Energy Saturday Afternoon Baseball on WUB Network. We'll have more basketball and, of course, Memorial Day baseball coming soon here on WUB Network. For everyone here, I'm Eddie Kalegi.